Okay, this is part 2 of our first year of transition for my lovely wife, Rain. We ended the last one in the middle of a thought of mine where I was talking about how if Joseph was still in the picture, I think our marriage would be very, very rocky or over. And it makes a lot of sense now that Rain's here. And out in the open and free. But yeah, with Joseph, things were we didn't communicate very well at all.
I was angry all the time.
Angry all the time. And I was starting to get bitter myself. And I'm really not a big fan of bitterness. I'd much rather just be content.
I agree.
So, yeah, things with Joseph were going very bad. And I don't think we would have survived, honestly. So at the time, I was like, oh my God, my life is over. But actually, you being free, I'm pretty sure saved us.
I'm more free.
Yes.
But I'm not completely free. Like, look at the challenges I still face. Like, using the washroom.
Yeah.
The dreaded topic of trans women using the washroom. And like the anxiety attacks I would get going out doing simple things like going to the grocery store or going to the corner store or going to the mall or going to do this or that or the other stuff that every single person does every single day. I would have anxiety attacks. Now it's getting better, but it's still a challenge.
Yes. And I can empathize with that because pre-you, or pre...
Coming out?
No, pre-Joseph.
Okay.
I had incredible anxiety for things like going to the store. And that was just because I was messed up, not because I had any of the real life issues or problems that you have. But so I can empathize with your social anxiety a bit more than someone who's never experienced that, because I've been in the corner store having a panic attack. So I think that helped me to try and help you.
Yeah. That's one thing I think back to the last year, like with the pregnancy happening so early on and the transition. I think I had just gotten on the T blockers
3 days before the pregnancy test came back positive.
Yeah, I had just started that step of my transition, and and it was a rough pregnancy. You can see it in her videos, like there's no question about it, right?
And the birth wasn't any easier.
No.
And since the birth hasn't been very easy either.
Well, it's been easier.
Easier than being pregnant? Yes, but not easy.
But no, the thing is that I found myself a lot of times alone.
Yes.
Because you were unable to be there because you were unable to be there because you couldn't even get up type thing, That's one thing I'm hoping for 2017, that you're more there, right? Because those roadblocks that were originally in place aren't going to be there this time.
Yes.
Right?
I will be there. I will most likely have Harley in my arms, but I will be there.
Yeah, and that's one thing I have to say. Since Harley's come to the world, it's been very challenging for me because I spent the last year trying to rediscover myself, like the true me, trying to split apart the garbage from my true nature. Yeah. And when Harley came, I spent all my life prepare myself mentally. Okay, this is the kind of father I'm going to be, and blah blah blah. And I can't do that because it's too feminine, and all this insane bullshit. So now Harley's here. I had a huge, and I still have a conflict of those emotions. Like, okay, which way am I going here? Like, what am I doing? And I still have a lot of doubts because I really want to be a good mom, right? I have no interest of being a dad because I'm not a dad. It's even to the point anything male-ish, I'm very
anti.
I'm not anti-male. It's just I've had to be in those shoes for so long that I need a break. You know what I mean?
New pair of shoes, high heels this time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which, by the way, my shoe collection is getting bigger, which is always a good thing. But and so is my wardrobe. Like, and that's one thing too in the videos, and you see it. You see it especially with the transitional video. Is my clothing changes. Like the biggest shock for me, personally, was close to the end of that video where those pictures I took in the washroom. It shocked me because you actually see my physique and a lot more. It's one of the first times you actually see me.
Yes.
Like all of me, right? Well,
Yes.
right. Well, she gets to see all of me. But
Yes.
which, that's one thing I want to like ask you. Is like at the beginning, let's be honest. Like we still used
Mr. Happy.
Mr. Happy. That's my mother that just snuck by. So, yeah, and that was one thing that was a struggle for me, right? Like it's a transition,
Yes.
right? Like we had to get you used to the change of things, right? Now it's kind of obsolete. Now it's just something there to annoy me on a regular freaking basis.
Yes.
So it's. How has it been for you? Like, I know sexually for me, it's very unsatisfying. I'm satisfied to see you happy. That emotional aspect, I get. No problems. But for my own selfishness, no. You know what I mean?
There's kind of two roads to that. I would still, when Mr. Happy was involved, I would still like be satisfied, but it was kind of like not a good satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
It's like so yeah, I'd still, yay, I reached the big O or whatever, but I didn't get the same connection that I got when I reached the big O other ways with you.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
So like it was a tool.
Mm-hmm.
I might as well have just been using a tool.
Yeah.
Which the future's here. So but yeah, so I would still get satisfied, but it wasn't the same emotional satisfaction that I got like prior to you coming out. And when you first came out, like it was super intense.
Yeah.
Like super intense. And
it really sucked because that's all I had to work with.
yeah. So, and I know for like the last few months, things haven't been flowing very flowy since I was like heavily pregnant and then gave birth and all that.
Yeah, that's
jazz.
that's been put on the back burner for now, which is kind of a good thing.
Yeah, I'm quite okay with that.
But what I'm meaning, like obviously, like you go back to the early months of the transition, was even really transitioning yet, other than buying some more appropriate clothes,
Right.
and challenge myself that way.
Mm-hmm. And working out.
Yeah, which I really sucked at lately.
Oh.
I've done really bad with that.
But when you look at your physique last year compared to this year,
Mm-hmm.
totally different body.
Thank God. Well, one thing I always wanted to do was, I want you to find me attractive. I want you to think I'm sexy. I am a girl, so it's nice to know that I'm wanted that way.
You are.
But like this time last year, I didn't have boobs, right?
Ew.
And now I have boobs because they're not big, they're not phenomenal, but they're there and they're mine, right? So like that's like a major thing. Like, how was that for you? Like, because that I could only imagine. Like for me, like it was like, oh my God, like it's actually happening, kind of thing, right? But now, did that make it more real for you? That scare you off?
Yeah, it was pretty much. Oh my God, it's actually happening. Yeah, when I first noticed that you had developed breasts and they weren't just
big luscious breasts.
Yeah, they weren't just like boy nipples or whatever. They were actually. Sorry, I shouldn't squeeze myself on camera. They were actually boobs. Yeah, that was like reality smacking me in the face, because it's not just
talk anymore.
It's not talk. It's not playing a game. This is life, and you're a girl.
Mm-hmm.
So,
One thing I did want to, like, and I think it's important that we talk about it since, like, we're halfway to the end of this one, is that there's been a lot of ups and downs with everything, such as life, and being married to a transgender woman is going to come with ups and downs. We face some very nasty stuff.
we have.
Some very nasty comments, some very cruel things. Being a year in now, being like where we're at, knowing the things we know, experiencing the things we experience, like what would you say to anybody that would be watching this, or your opinions or thoughts about those particular experiences?
Okay, I would start with the very most important thing. If you love a person and you love that person, doesn't matter if they're a boy or a girl or anything in between, or you love the person they are. If you find that you fall in love with a man and the man ends up being transgender and you can no longer love that person, then you didn't love that person anyway, you love that person's cock. And move on, let them move on. But yeah, when you love somebody, it really doesn't matter. And I really forgot the point of your question. I just got stuck on that one.
Well, like look at that one lady from when you worked that was being obviously very bigoted towards me and stuff like that. Like stuff like that. Or even that time you mentioned in the video and you were embarrassed about when you didn't come right out and say
job interview.
Stuff like that. That's what I was kind of referring to. But I'm glad you mentioned what you said.
Okay.
Because that's important.
It is important. Yeah, that job interview, I was ashamed that I was too embarrassed. No, fearful, not embarrassed. I was too fearful to come out and just say, that's actually my wife or whatever, right? And I haven't really had that issue since, because I came face to face with the fact that I felt worse for not openly saying it than I would have if I had have openly said it. So it's like you always regret the things you don't do instead of the things you do. Oh, I said do. But anyways, so I haven't had an issue with that since, because I found my line. And this is my life, and if people don't like it, that's really too bad.
Well, yeah, and then one thing I think it's important too, like, people have different opinions out there. Some people look down on us, me specifically, and that's okay, I guess. Everyone has a right to their opinions.
Even when they're wrong.
I mean, yeah. But the thing I think a lot of them don't realize is how damaging that is to someone like me in my position, especially since, like, you've gotten first-hand witness of some of the cruel things that were said to me. You know, even some of the behavior from people that I know, from strangers online that I just think their opinion is the most important thing in this world. You know what I mean?
I did want to briefly touch on the ignorance of people online. Oh my God, people. You need to look up the definition of transgender and compare it to the definition of pedophile. They have nothing to do with each other in any way, shape, or form. So this is to pretty much mostly Americans and Australians seem to be the ones that can't differentiate between those two. Nothing to do with each other at all.
You know, the one thing I have to say, like, we all know what's been going on in the news with the HB2 freaking bull crap going on in North Carolina, and then Trump and blah, 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 all that stuff. But I have to say, some of the posts I would see and some of the comments I would see from Canadians was really, like, heartbreaking, because
discouraging.
This is not an easy thing to go through.
No.
She can tell you firsthand at all. Like, it's these kind of attitudes and ignorant comments
don't do any good.
No, and it's hurtful, right? Like, it's very hurtful. Like, all I want to do is be me. That's it. And she can, again, vouch for that. Like, she's known me for almost 6 years now, right? Like, she's known me in Joseph stage. She's known me in coming out stage. She's known me in first a year of transition stage, right?
Yes.
So it's like I just want to live my life. I just want to be able to love who I want to love, go to work, pay my bills, make my way, that kind of thing, and just be left to be alone.
Yes.
Like I don't need any more pressures on me or you or on now our daughter, which is one thing I have to admit that really concerns me a lot, is that our daughter, aside from being the the daughter of two lesbians, right?
In a small town.
In a small religious town.
Yes.
That I'm transgender on top of that. And I know she's going to have to face adversity because of stuff like that. So, you know what I mean?
And we know this for a fact from things that so-called friends have said. So if those are our friends saying things like that, then what are people that you knew in high schools going to tell their kids about your kid? And like,
yeah, I know you feel the same way, that we want this to help.
yes.
We want this to be encouraging, because I know for us, we've been two lonely ships tied together, floating out in the ocean, trying to keep each other from sinking.
Yes.
Right? So,
Even though occasionally we shot holes in each other's boats.
I shot. One thing I did notice though, since I started since I've been hello, I'm here kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm a lot more spiteful than I used to be. I could be like a big bitch,
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
You used to keep it a little bit under wraps. It was more vengeance, but now it's more spite.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you've definitely feminized that. The rage is more feminine now.
One thing too I wanted to mention, because we're getting close to the end, and I think it's good to mention that 2016, all these things happened, right? So 2017, well, what's next? What are we anticipating? What's going to happen, right? Like, well, Anastasia won't be pregnant, thank God. But I will be hitting my year mark in May for being on my estrogen pills, and because of that, I will qualify to get my referral to the clinic for my SRS.
And by May, you will be done your speech pathology first 10 sessions.
Oh, that's true too. Yes, I'll be done that
So
too.
if you need more, you'll have more, but the first 10 will be under your belt.
Yay. Hopefully I don't sound hideous.
Well, that's one good thing, is you should do videos while you're doing that so we can gauge it.
Mm-hmm. And it's nice how, you ask people just kind of like do their thing and you don't listen. It's very frustrating. But it's, one thing I also wanted to say is, like, in 2017, I'm going to get my freaking chest and stomach lasered, because I am absolutely sick of that BS. Like, oh my God. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's the only thing I want to do, And then we have our little girl. So we're going to have all the joys of being parents.
Yeah.
And, guiding her and shaping her and warping her.
When we look to the side, we're looking at her. We're not, like, rolling our eyes or anything.
Well, she is, but...
Yeah. Actually, I just rolled my eyes when you said that. That's hilarious. Anyways.
No, it's one thing I do want to say is love is real and love is possible. I know if I wasn't with you, I probably would have never been able to come out. I think I would still be playing the little game that I'm playing with myself of denying who I was really am.
And sentencing yourself to a lifetime of unhappiness till it ends abruptly.
Well, and that's the thing too. If I didn't come out, I would have probably killed myself. I hate saying that. It's not a joke or stuff like that, but I don't think I would have had much more left in me emotionally to be able to continue this facade, especially now that I am where I am now. I'm not going to give this up for nothing at all. Even with the imperfections I'm still dealing with and trying to fix and blah, 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 right? So,
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
I do not say blah, blah, blah.
Love that movie.
Oh, yeah.
But regardless, we wanted to wish everybody a happy new year.
And hopefully 2017 is a gazillion times better than 2016 for the world as a whole.
Yes. We want to take the time right now to thank everybody that's subscribed to us, follows us,
Supports us.
supports us, loves us. All these little things that each and every one of you do makes a world of difference for us. And trust me, we use that when we need it the most.
Yes.
Right? So we will be continuing year 2. It'll be interesting to see where I am this time next year. Hopefully I'm more me. I'm feeling like me more.
Yeah.
And I even got a compliment. My wife said I looked pretty outside, so
Yeah, you
I'm
do
getting
look very
there.
pretty.
Well, thank you. But again, we thank everybody out there for your love and support. My rules. Everyone has an opinion, and that's fine. But if you got nothing nice to say, shut the fuck up.
Are you supposed to say that at the beginning? Ah, well. We
Whatever.
got it in.
Well, love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.